Hi there. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about global warming again. Global warming, great, yeah, awesome. Well, anyway, I live in the European Union, I live in England, and it's December the 19th, 2007. And the European Union government, the EU, has announced plans today to set up a tax on automobile companies, car manufacturers, and this tax will basically charge companies about 15 quid for every gram of CO2 they're above the limit. The car emits, shall I say, every gram of CO2 that the car emits over the limit, the tax will be levied on the sale of the brand new car. Which, you know, if your car's crappy, it's going to be taxed heavily. So if you've got let's say you're a company like BMW and you've got V12s, V8s and straight 6s, and they're all gas guzzling crap, you ain't going to get past these 130. They're going to measure it out. You're just going to be paying lots of tax on your cars, which makes richer cars even more expensive, which is fair enough as far as I'm concerned. If you've got enough money to go out and pay for a Range Rover, and it only does 250 instead of 130, pay. Simply as simple as that. Just pay for it. Yeah, it really is that simple. But the most striking thing is the German Chancellor. Hold on, it's Angela Merkel, that's the one. She's lobbied the EU today and complained, this is unfair on our economy because we're the biggest car manufacturers in Europe. Well, yeah, well, do something about it then. You know what I mean? You're also the cleverest engineers in Europe. That's why you've still got a car manufacturing facility in your country. France are complaining as well. Peugeot in particular are complaining. Now Peugeot, about 3 years ago, I think it was 2005, they bragged that they had a 72 mile per gallon vehicle. They surely haven't got any problems. If they can produce a car which does 72 miles per gallon, well, where is it? Where is this 72 mile per gallon vehicle that they've got? Which is obviously be around about 80 kilograms. You know, it's better than the Prius. Oh yeah, this car's better than the Toyota Prius. Quite clearly, if it's that good, it should beat the congestion tax in London. But it didn't. Oh dear. What are you complaining for? I didn't hear anything about Japanese manufacturers complaining. You know, I think they'll be able to meet this CO2 levy. I've just got this inkling feeling that with their hybrid technology coming through and stuff like that, that they're just going to hit it straight on the head. Right, there you go. There's 100, 120. Oh, we've got a Lexus, 5 billion horsepower. It's 110 CO2 rating. No tax for me, mate. Sort of thing. They'll be laughing at the Germans. I'm just visioning it now that the Japanese are going to going like 2 fingers up at the Germans, saying, "Oh, I thought you were clever, German idiots." It's going to be quite funny, isn't it? Come on, EU, put the tax on. Don't dither about. Let's have it. Let's have it lower. Let's have it 100 kilograms per whatever it is they measure it at. Sorry, it's 100 gram. 100. It's just a gram. Grams per watt. Grams per watt. 130 gram target. 130 gram. And what is that? Is that 130 grams per mile? Is that the average? Is that taken into account building in the factory, the emissions emitted during building and design? Let's take all that into account. I should say. the whole thing. All the materials used to build the car and how much it takes to recycle the car, and lump that onto the CO2 figure of the car as well. Because some cars out there, like the more prestige cars, I'm talking Mercedes and BMWs, they've got so much crap inside them, yeah, to make the person feel as if they're driving comfortably. Yeah, it's a complete waste of resources, and it is never recycled. It's just stuck in a crusher and crushed up and put in the bin. You know what I mean? It's not separated at all. So I think we'll go down to how much the technology is, what the technology in the car is, what it takes to build it, what it takes to dismantle it, how many tyres they use during their how many repair bills. Who's the most reliable car on the planet? Not the planet. Let's go for who's the most reliable car on the planet? Because the car that needs to be in the workshop the least uses the least amount of resources in the workshops. The car that needs the less oil changes uses less oil. The car that uses less spark plugs uses less spark plugs. The car that uses less cam belts uses less cam belts. The car that uses less timing chains uses less timing chains. The car that uses less bottom ball joints uses less bottom ball joints. The car that uses less anti-roll bar bushes uses less anti-roll bar bushes, and so on and so forth. The most reliable cars on the planet get the less tax. The most expensive cars, i.e., if your discs wear out at a greater rate and you need discs and pads every single time you and now if they're not fitted correctly after the first time, the front ones aren't usually too bad, right? Because the mechanic hasn't cleaned them up properly, so they've got dust debris left in the calipers, and that means the pads are now sitting on rust and dust debris, and they're less efficient. So that means they wear out faster because they don't release properly. They stay stuck to the disc. The disc and pads wear out more the second time, and it's even worse on the back. If they don't clean them up at the back, they just put them in on the bonus and just wham wham. In England, they just wham them in really quickly and get them out of the workshop and get the next one in. Right? It cuts the life of the pads down to around about 15 to 20,000 miles at the rear, and knocks the discs out extremely quickly as well. And there's another factor: whose mechanics are the best? And of course, those companies with the best mechanics on the planet, the car companies that can repair the cars properly, they get a tax break. So don't just put it on the fuel efficiency of the car, you put it on the whole company as a whole. And I know from working with Volkswagen and Toyota, I know by far and away Toyota are a miles better, miles more efficient company than Volkswagen, hands down. Volkswagen UK are crap. Toyota UK, just big thumbs up, mate. You know what I mean? And you see it when the cars come in for service. Well, I get to service Passats, I get to service Golfs in a non-franchise garage at the moment, and I get to service Aventuses. And you get the Aventus in, and you just put oil filter on it, do the rest of the checks and lubrications while you can kick it out. You bring the Volkswagen in, you put in bits on everywhere. they're unreliable as fuck. It might be the drivers. It might be that the drivers in Toyotas are more sensible. They ought to expand the tax out to include these things.